Hello. As we've reached the end of the transition program, I thought I'd put out a hopefully quite a quick video just to really wrap things up and to just let you know about the process between now and the start of term, and to make sure that all of the important information that you guys need as parents and students, that, especially if they've missed some of the transition activities, are fully aware of what's coming up and things that need to happen. I'll just start with just wrapping up what's been for me, a really exciting and hopefully for the students, really useful transition program. We've not done it over this number of weeks, and obviously with the changes to exam, it's offered us an opportunity to get students in a lot more than we would do in a normal academic year. And I really hope that through all of these processes, from the start of getting to meet the current students, from having days of lessons with subject teachers, to having a chance to understand the enrichment activities that are available and some of those wider processes, students have really got to grips and a feel for the exciting opportunities that lie ahead of them in September. I'm going to attach the enrichment activity documents to this, so if students did miss out on that and haven't been able to pick up the email that I sent out last week with all the enrichment details, that it is all there, and you as parents can also see the different activities that are run in that final programme. Over the last week, we've had our no limits days, which have undergone a slight change due to some of the fun of the current circumstances, but the students were second to none in terms of taking part and volunteering with that day. And for myself, as director of sixth form, it was incredibly pleasing to see our new year 12 students and those ones that were able to come in and volunteer working side by side with our current students, and it really bodes well for the experience that those guys are going to have when they join the sixth form, and how much they can offer just beyond the lesson sessions they'll have, and on those wider experiences that sixth form has to offer them. In terms of what the process looks like between now and September, one thing I will flag up is that students have further learning tasks to be completing with. We've tried to work hard to make sure these aren't too onerous, and if you as parents and students are feeling worried that too much time is going into these and this is being quite restrictive, then please let me know. That isn't the idea at all. The purpose of the summer work tasks that have been set is so that students have, hopefully quite engaging activities to be getting on with, that just prepares them to be starting in September, and teachers will be collecting those in as part of their first week of lessons. So it is important that they're completed to their best ability. In some cases, students have been set them via sort of the summer work postcard you can see in the bottom right hand corner of the screen there. In other cases, teachers have set them in a different way, but however they have been set, students should be able to access them via the teams that have been set up for students that are joining in September. So any students that were part of the transition should now be added to teams where their individual subject teachers have been able to communicate them throughout the whole transition programme, and particularly now being able to set that work, which will obviously serve as a portal where if they're not sure about anything, they can chat to that member of staff, just double check they've got everything they need, and hopefully make sure that completion of that summer learning task is done relatively smoothly. If, again, there are any problems with that throughout the summer, I will be checking my email regularly, so do let me know, and I will be able to hopefully, support anybody that needs it in terms of getting those done. There's a couple of sort of administrative things that I just wanted to put on as reminders. I'm conscious that many of you will be looking at transport for September, and I thought I'd just remind you that when students do move from our main school and go into post-16 education, which the Grove Sixth Form is, students aren't eligible for free school transport. Now, there may well be students that are still eligible for transport assistance, and indeed if students are eligible for the sixth form bursary, then we can support students with the cost of transport as well, and I'll talk through that eligibility criteria in a moment for bursary. But in terms of information that you might need to know for school transport, it is all accessible via the Shropshire Council website. Now, the link will be active on the PDF version of this presentation that I'm going to attach to the email I'm sending out, but you can get information there. There's a contact number for the relevant person in the council that can help you with any inquiries you might have about getting transport in place in September. Again, if you feel like you've hit a bit of a roadblock with that and you're not quite sure where to go, drop me an email and I'll do my best to try and help support you with any applications for transport or any queries you might have on that front. As I mentioned there, that there is a form of financial support that's available within sixth form, and this is something that lives specifically within sixth form provision and something that wouldn't have happened lower down the school. And this is the sixth form bursary, and it's designed to help students in meeting anything that would qualify as being a cost of their study. So that's quite a broad description. It can be things such as equipment, it can be things such as support towards things like trips, and it can be things to do with school transport and being able to get actually to the sixth form each day. Now, I've just popped up there a clipped version of the application form for the bursary, where you can see the eligibility criteria. And if you meet any of those, then when students arrive in September, they'll get a paper copy of that bursary fund application. They'll only need to provide evidence for it once, and once they've been able to do that, they can continue to complete applications for different costs that they may incur during their time of study. So it's something that we ask that you look really carefully at. We're absolutely committed to supporting as many students as possible that meet this criteria. So do have a good look at it, and if there's any questions, please let me know. I'm going to talk about the sixth form dress code again. I'm conscious that I kind of mention this every time that I do any sort of presentation with students and indeed parents, and it's not because I'm particularly obsessive about the sixth form dress code, but it is something that I'm keen we get right, and it's something that I know that if the information isn't there, and if students make purchases that are inappropriate for them to wear in sixth form, it can cause students to be quite upset. And equally, if money's been spent out on it, that can be a really difficult thing for parents and students to process if it's happened and then we're saying, okay, this isn't quite right. So I'm going to just put up that dress code guidance again. I have sent out previously the slides with examples of what it looks like, and I think that's a really useful second process to kind of go, right, that fits in with it. For me, it's making sure students are coming in smartly dressed and prepared for an academic experience. So it's about making sure students aren't wearing sports clothing of any type, making sure that they're not wearing blue jeans or ripped jeans, and making sure that students are wearing appropriate footwear, so no trainers. And we did notice a number of students coming in during trainers for the transition programme, which was fine for those first weeks as students are moving on and maybe haven't made that purchase for their sixth form dress code yet. But we would expect, with the time we've got between now and September, that students are able to use that time to be able to have the right items of dress code with them, and that they are able to wear that throughout the week without going into any of the items you can see in the right hand column here of things that are not appropriate for sixth form. Now, if there are any questions, and if there are any of those, is this okay, is this isn't okay type questions, please email me and I can always do a check and say, yeah, that's fine, or offer you further guidance on that. Equally, if the cost of students being able to prepare themselves to meet the dress code of sixth form is going to be an issue, and students are eligible for bursary, we can start processing those costs earlier on, and I can start helping support you with any purchases you need for September. So we needn't wait until then, and that's something that if you let me know, we can get the ball rolling on that bursary application, and we can help support students with the start-up costs of getting their clothes that they need in terms of meeting the dress code for September. The next time that I will see students and potentially yourselves as parents as well is on GCSE results day. This is on Thursday the 12th of August, and we have had it confirmed that students will be able to come in and collect their results in person. So when they come into the main hall to collect those results, they will receive their envelope of results, and within that there will be a slip of paper that will allow them to respond to us as a sixth form, just to make us know that final confirmation that they are indeed wanting to come on roll for September, and that we've got the choices of courses correct in terms of what they want to start on. If there is any issues there in terms of students failing to meet the entry requirements, then there will be a notification there that the students and yourselves will need to come over, and we'll have that chat on results day. We'll see where the issues lie and we'll chat through the options in place. And it won't just be a flat no. In many cases, we can offer students something and put support in place so that students have got the best chance of possible at being successful on the courses that they've applied for. But it will be a conversation that needs to be had before we can put students onto courses. So it's really important, if on results day there is a slip of paper requesting a meeting, I'll be in the main hall, we'll be set up with a sixth form desk, we'll be really clear where we are. Just come over, we'll have that chat, and hopefully then we'll come away with something that works for both the students and ourselves in sixth form, that we know that we're setting themselves up to be successful in September. If you're not able, or students aren't able to collect the results in person, then that process can happen over email, and you can email us a confirmation of acceptance of a place for sixth form. If there are any further issues with that in terms of entry requirements, I'll get back to you and we can set up a meeting either in person at a later point or via Teams, which is quite a useful new one that we can now do, so we can still have that conversation even if you're not here in person collecting those results. I will say though that students' participation in the transition programme has become very useful in those conversations, and if students have been in regularly and attended those and they've done well in those sessions, that may well have a positive effect on the decisions we make with students on particular courses. And finally, the start of term will be the 2nd of September, which is a Thursday. Year 12, along with Year 7, start just one day earlier, just to have an opportunity to do an orientation day, really. So on this day, Year 12s will come in. They'll be the only year group in the sixth form, and we'll have a chance for them to receive their timetable and review what their week will look like at sixth form. They'll have a session with their personal tutor, which in most cases will be the same personal tutor that they've seen for the transition programme, so some nice continuity there. We'll also have a chance to have a chat to them about the step up between Year 11 and Year 12, with a real focus on the fact that, right, you are now going into your full timetable. What are those differences? Where are those challenges? And for you as a student, where does that challenge lie? And how are we going to address those to make sure that you start to your sixth form experience is as successful as possible for you. We'll also have time on that day for a team building session with fellow Year 12 students, and they'll have a chance to hopefully socially interact a bit and make sure they feel nice and confident coming in for the first proper day and full day of sixth form, which will be on Friday the 3rd. There will be further information on this day, but do expect it to be 8:40 to 3 p.m, and we would expect students to be in full dress code for this day, so just to sort of be aware of those couple of points. But what I normally do is just include some information on the orientation day as part of the GCSE results information students get, so that they've got all of that information all together and they know what to do with it. Okay, thank you very much for listening. As I've said a few times, probably too many during that, if you is anything at all that either you or the students are worried about or have any questions about between now and September, do please let me know. I will be there as part of results day, so there's a chance to talk to me personally with anything there. But even if you're not able to attend that or something comes up after that date, do please get in touch and we can help support as much as possible. But enjoy your summer. Hope the students enjoy their summer too, and we hope to see them nice and rested and ready to go for the start of their next sixth form experience in September. Thank you.